Hey there, folks. John Pelham. I had a person ask me here recently about my first experience as a poet, and got me thinking about a poem I wrote a few years ago, and it sort of ties in with the fact that I've got a pretty significant birthday coming up here in a week or so, and so I just decided that I would do this little poem for you that kind of marries my age, I guess, and my experience as a poet. It's called The Sophomore Poet. Where'd you get your love of poetry? Somebody asked me the other day. I thought about it a while, and there's only one thing I could say. Well, I'm not too sure, but I've got a feeling that it started a long time ago. Probably back in Ms. Epps' English class, where we studied Chaucer, Longfellow, and Poe. As I thought further about those days, the classes seemed never to end. Memorizing poems and reciting them out loud. Ms. Epps reminding us, poetry is your friend. Well, as I've gotten older, my eyes weakened. My memory, once good, sometimes fails. But I'm sure as long as I live, I'll never forget the prelude, the prologue to Chaucer's Canterbury Tales. One that a prilly with the shorter sota, the drought of March had pierced to the rota, and bathed every vein in switch liqueur, of which engendered is the fluor. On and on it went. Splendid old English, we reciting in Texas English so clipped. Looking back, I'm pretty sure that old Jeffrey was rolling over and over as somewhere in his Westminster crypt. Memorization and recitation wasn't the only odoriferous experience we had in English too. We also had to write our own original odic lines, minimum 8 lines, 2 verses, recited on the date due. Well, we racked our brains. We searched high and low for all we had for rhyming words and phrases that would satisfy, maybe even edify Ms. Epps, and just maybe pass and win her praises. My day came, and up to the front I went, poem in hand, full of angst and dread. Nervously, I hitched up my breeches. I looked at my feet. I cleared my throat and looked at Ms. Epps and said, Greed. Greed is an enemy that's eternal. You find it wherever you may. It's in the people you see and the people you meet each day. You find it in the big cities and in the small villages too. And if you don't watch what you're doing, it'll be right here in you. Well, the class didn't erupt in laughter, and they didn't burst out in derision. I watched Ms. Epps for her response, anxiously awaiting her critical decision. Well, I don't really honestly remember what she said, nor do I remember the grade that she gave. I only remember being hooked on that stuff, a form of expression I'll take to my grave. I guess she must have liked my poem, because she sent mine and a few others off someplace. They ended up getting published in a book, bound in red, with Young America Sings across the face. Wasn't much of a book, just something that parents wanted to buy. But it made me feel 10 feet tall, and it gave me an incentive to try my hand at writing more poems. Finding ways to make lines rhyme. Now, in retirement, it's something I do to fill my spare time. Well, Ms. Epps is gone now, and so were the days when we rhymed merely for the score. But she started something that's outlived the exercises I dreaded so much. as a high school sophomore. Uh, Folks, as we age, we think back to times like that, and that question that I was asked gave me cause to think back to that poem and think back to those days. I would say to you, if you ever have an inkling to try, I encourage you to write your own poem. Doesn't have to be long, doesn't even necessarily have to rhyme. Just give it a shot. If you're so inclined and want a little help, I'd be more than happy to help if that would help you some. Been good to be with you today. I'll see you next week, and we'll be looking forward to a time around Christmas when we'll bring these little weekly exercises to a close. Thanks for being with me. See you next week. Bye-bye.